everybody, Ben Nelson here, again, the Everyday Real Estate Investor. Thanks for joining me today. I'm excited to get into some strategy and talk about ways to get into real estate, get started, and things you can do to make that happen. So again, just wanted to reiterate what we're doing here and why I'm doing this. Again, I'm a real estate broker. I'm an investor here in the Portland, Oregon metro area. I've been doing this for a long time. And I just really have a heart for and feel for people that are out there that are busy and trying to get involved in real estate but not really sure what to do. Maybe they have some resources to put out there, but there's a lot that has to happen in getting started in real estate investing, or if you're trying to take it to that next level. There's a lot of research that has to go into knowing your market, to looking at deals. There's a lot of time investment into sourcing deals and looking at stuff and building your team and all that stuff. So it can be really difficult when you're trying to get started or trying to take it to that next level, trying to figure out how to do that. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to spur each other on, make it happen. I'm super busy. I'm a broker. That's where I spend a lot of my time, but I'm also an investor. And so I understand, and it's not quite the same as someone that's out there doing a W-2. They have to go into the office or something 9 to 5. They don't have any ability to have a little bit more flexibility than some people. I totally understand that, but I'm also very, very busy. So I do understand that being busy, and I just want to make sure that we're spurring each other on. We're not using that as an excuse as to why we are not investing in real estate or doing more than what we can do. So with that said, just a reminder of what we're working on here. Let's dive into it and talk a little bit about a few ways that you can get started in real estate investing that you can do with maybe a little bit less time, and you can just get your foot in the door. And this first one actually is not really maybe less time, or it won't seem that way, but there's ways you can do it if you are wanting to do it. So first thing that you can do is you can do what's called bird dogging, or if you want to take it a little further than the bird dogging part, you can do wholesaling. So what is bird dogging and what is wholesaling? So bird dogging is basically being someone's eyes out there looking for property. So there's a lot of people looking for property right now, a lot of people looking for that inventory, that product, and there's not a lot of it out there. And so if you can provide value to someone by bringing them a deal, or even the possibility of a deal, that is providing value, and that is not necessarily investing. You're not the investor, but you are at least getting in the game and getting to know the market, getting to know your neighborhood, and making connections, building relationships, which is what this business is all about. So if you can start off in something that you can bring value to somebody and bring them a potential project that they can make money on, you have the possibility of building that relationship. Like I said, you're getting to know inventory. Maybe you can come alongside them in the deal. Stay with it, learn something. Maybe they'll let you, instead of taking a fee, they'll let you stay on the deal, long term, and you can watch them and learn from them. And then you get to know what they're looking for. You can learn value, you can learn neighborhoods, all of those things. So again, when you're limited on time, how do you do that? Well, you figure out a way to incorporate that into your day. So instead of if you're working a full-time job, instead of going straight home or straight to work, leave a few minutes early, leave 15 minutes, 30 minutes early, or spend 15 to 30 minutes after work and drive around some neighborhoods, take down some addresses, start to notice things, that are a little different, a little off, right? You're driving through a neighborhood and every house, looks pretty good. And then you find one that's maybe a little bit run down, or like this one looks like maybe no one's lived here in a while. That's how you find opportunity. Taking it even further, if you start to understand zoning and what can be done with properties, you can start to learn even more than just this property looks like it needs some work. You can start to notice things like, this is a single family home, but I know I can build a 4-unit or an 8-unit building here. So there's a lot of things you can start to discover and notice as you start to drive through neighborhoods and look at those things. So that's a good way to get started. Hustle is money in the wholesale and bird dog business. So if you're willing to do some of the hustle and spend the time and effort to do that, and again, you can fit it in your schedule if you're able to do that, just do it over time. That's going to equal money in your pocket. The other thing to note is that typically you're going to get more in your pocket. The more value you create, the more you're going to bring to yourself. And I believe that that's true in basically all things. The bigger the problem you solve, the more that you the more value you create, the more that you're going to get because you're creating more value, right? So if you're bird dogging, if you just send someone an address or say, hey, I saw this property, it looks like it might be vacant, check it out. Typically, that's worth something, right? Because if someone gets a deal out of that, then they're going to make money, so you should make money, right? If you're able to start learning, you get a little bit, that's where you're going to probably start out because maybe you don't know the market very well. But if you can start doing other steps, reaching out to the seller, doing, even getting deals under contract, now you can bring it to your buyers that are looking for something like that, and you've created more value because you've already locked in the deal and the price and all of that. So you've already done the negotiating, you've done all the negotiating, you've done all of the due diligence, all of that stuff. And so now you're basically bringing a packaged product to somebody that they don't have to do all that work, and that's worth more. So just something to think about. If you're just getting to know the market, you're going to start with just kind of noticing opportunities, but you can move that into actually creating deals and creating more value. Even if you can't necessarily do it by yourself, you can bring it to somebody else, and they can take it down. You can make something on that, or you can partner with them on it. So next one that is a great one is house hacking. So if you haven't heard the term house hacking, definitely stay tuned to some future episodes. I've got a few guests that I'm going to have on here that we're going to talk specifically about this strategy because I just think it's such a great strategy. In fact, when I'm talking to buyers especially first-time buyers, I always talk about their future goals in real estate, and if they have any sort of desire to be in real estate investing or own some rental properties as part of their investment plan, I always talk about house hacking in the sense of I guess I'll step back and just define house hacking. So house hacking is essentially if you buy a property and you can rent a portion of it out, that's going to cover some of your payment, and you're living in the home and then renting out a portion of it. So that could be renting out a room, that could be renting out a second unit, that could be renting out, even storage buildings or garages or something like that, but something that you're able to live in the house and you are renting out a portion of it. And this is actually how Airbnb, the big nightly rental company, started, was essentially house hacking. They used a portion of it might have even just been an apartment, I don't remember, but and put up a couple air mattresses and put out ads for space for rent, and people slept on the floor in their apartment or their home and brought in some extra income. So that's an example of house hacking, and then they took it to the next level and built a huge company out of it, right? So, but you can do that, and the great thing about house hacking, I don't want to give too much away for our other upcoming episodes, but if you're looking at it from a first-time homebuyer perspective, or even not even necessarily a first-time homebuyer, but a lot of time, you're living in part of the unit, so you can get owner-occupied financing, which is a lot better than investor financing. You get better rates, you can get in for lower down, and eventually you can turn around so you can buy it, live in it, rent it out, offset your payment, or a big chunk of it anyway. You can be living for a lot less money out of your own pocket, and then down the road you can turn around and turn that into a full investment property and move on to something else, and even maybe do it again. And you've locked in that long-term, low-interest debt with very little of your own money invested in it, and you're hopefully still cash flowing it at that point. So it's a great way to get into a investment property for low down and lower your expenses at the same time. So I love that strategy. I think it's a great strategy. The third one is to invest passively. So you can, if you don't have a lot of time to look at deals and vet deals and learn the market and all of that stuff, but you have some money to invest, there are a number of ways you can invest your money into other people's deals. So you can do that as debt. You could be a lender. You could, make points. You can charge fees and stuff up front and then charge interest rate. And that's a great way to do it. Now, you're not investing in the real estate because your return is on the debt. You're basically acting as the bank, right? So you're getting fees, you're getting interest, but you do create some cash flow off of it, and it is secured by the real estate. So, or it should be anyway, if you're doing it that way. So secured by the real estate. So if something were to go wrong, you do have the ability to take that property back because you're the lien holder on it, and now you have that real estate. So secured debt is a way that you can invest or at least be involved in real estate. The other way you can do it is by being a limited partner. So you can invest in someone else's deal, and you don't have to do the work, you don't have to do the hands-on stuff, but you're investing in their deal as equity, as a limited partner. You don't get to say, you don't get the same votes as the general partners, as the people involved in doing the project, but you get the exposure to the deal, meaning that if the deal does really, really well, so in a debt position, you don't have the upside of the property. You also don't of the deal. You don't have the upside. If the deal does really, really well, you still get just your debt payment, right? If you're making 6%, that's what you said you'd borrow the money. You'd give them the money for 6% interest and maybe some fees up front. That's what you get. The deal does poorly, you still get your return. The deal does really, really well, you still get your return. So with a limited partner structure, you have some exposure to the upside. So if the deal does really, really well, then you are going to get a piece of that deal. And so a big part of it is you got to trust the operator. You got to know their track record. You have to know that they're structuring things properly so that you're protected. But that's a great way to not have to be hands-on in the deal and running the show, and you definitely have to still do some time because you have to, make sure you're vetting the deal and the whoever's doing the deal. Still, you don't want to just give someone money without doing that. You at least want to understand the deal and who you're investing with, but it's less than running the project, right? So, and again, you still get a piece of the upside because you're bringing in that equity piece, and you're a limited partner. You're a partner in the deal. So those are just 3 ways that you can get started in real estate investing and not necessarily have to spend a ton of time in doing that. And again, a lot of us out there don't have the desire maybe or the time to launch into full-time investing, right? So some people do have the desire, they just don't have the time, right? But some people that's not what they want to do, right? They want exposure to the real estate investment market, but they don't really even have the desire to be full-time. So those are just 3 ways to potentially do it. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys. I really want to continue on with some strategies that are going to be helpful to you in trying to figure out how you take care or how you get into the real estate game, and again, how to scale, how to do some more things than what just your own time allows you to do. We're going to get more into some of those strategies here down the road, and we're going to start looking at some formulas, some tools, some other tactics that are going to help maybe shortcut some of the research, shortcuts running some of the numbers, help you figure out how to run some of these things, and be able to utilize your time to the best of your ability, and be able to shortcut those steps and make things happen for yourself sooner. So again, Ben Nelson, the Everyday Real Estate Investor, thanks so much for checking this out. Tell your friends, let's join on this journey together. Let's connect and spur each other on. And I would love to hear your stories. I would love to hear where you're at in your investing, whether you're just kind of getting your feet wet, trying to figure things out, getting started, or looking to, you've got some experience, but looking to up your game and scale a little bit. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're trying to do. Let's hold each other accountable, and let's go out there and make it happen.